everyone. My name is Jessica Roth. I'm an Italian style team member and educator with FRAMESI North America.
And I'm Sarah Scaccia. I am also an Italian style team member and educator for FRAMESI North America.
Today we're going to be showing you a super fun technique that I love and use in the salon every day using one of my favorite new techniques. This is going to be with FRAMESI's newest lightener. This is called DECOLOR B Infinity Plus. Thank you. Here it is, DECOLOR B Infinity Plus. This is a 10 plus level of lift lightener, and it is going to help reach brighter and more refined results in less time. So the fun thing about this technique, this sectioning is actually really unique because you can use it for a multitude of different color techniques actually. So I have a mannequin head here with my sectioning already done. It's super simple. The first section is going to be right at that frontal fringe flat, and it's going to go to like the outer corners of the eyebrow arches. Hi everybody, hello. I love seeing all the people up in there with the little hearts. Hi guys. We have our sides. The sides are actually going to start from where our point is of our triangle at the top of that frontal fringe flat, and we're going to just draw a line straight down through the back of the head into the nape. Now, the reason why we have this sectioned off here, this is going to be where those bright pops of color come from underneath. The next two sections you have are going to be in the top. You've got your vertex section, and then you've got your right above the occipital section. So this section here, I have this sectioned away for a reason. This is never going to get painted. This is where we keep that depth in this look. I keep it sectioned away, that way I remember when I get to it, we don't paint here, and I just let it down and continue with the sectioning. This is how we keep depth and brightness to create that high contrast look. I'm gonna bring my model over. Model, come here. This is Carissa. The really fun thing about this look, step forward just a little bit for me, please, so that I can really see your hair, is that you can create a multitude of different looks. Carissa is a balayage client of mine. So the same look that we're gonna be showing to leave depth and dimension in a brunette can also be used to refresh your balayage appointments. It's super fast, it's super easy, and we toned her with the exact same formula that we're going to tone our mannequin with today. Thank you, Carissa. And we'll bring her back later. So one of the cool things about this technique that I like is the fact that it is so versatile. You are able to take any canvas, because we're using the head shape, and create these looks on anybody. They look good on everyone, and that's, I think, what the best thing about this technique is. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And what we're going to do is we are going to start on our sides, and I am going to section off at the parietal ridge. If you do not know what the parietal ridge is, here it is. This is the parietal ridge. We are going to leave this top section sectioned away, and this is where we're going to begin our painting. So what I want to talk about first is the mix ratio. DECOLOR B Infinity Plus, you can mix this 1 to 2. I prefer for balayage painting and foliage painting to mix 1 to 1.5. While I'm mixing this lightener, if you could please, Miss Sarah, can you talk about some of the features and benefits of this brand new lightener?
Yeah, so the great part about all of our FRAMESI lighteners is that they all offer a little bit something different. So with Infinity Plus, we're offering a super lightening formula. This achieves 10 plus levels of lift, which is really, really, really crazy, but amazing at the same time. Reaches brighter, more refined results in minimum time. It also offers hyaluronic acid. Sorry. I have a really hard time saying certain words. Hyaluronic acid, which is a strong, powerful humectant that fills in the gaps of damage along the hair shaft and acts as a cementing substance, helping hair recover moisture and structure. The biggest feature in Infinity Plus is the white kaolin powder.
My favorite.
It's very, very, very cool. So it's an ultra saturating and exfoliating. It allows the product to adhere better to the hair surface, helping to lift the cuticle for better penetration and efficient processing.
Yeah.
This gives you quicker, more even results. It enhances the absorption of hyaluronic acid for enhanced conditioning and protection during the lifting process. And this is also clay-based. So you're going to have a very versatile application with this. You can do hand painting, like free hand painting with balayage. You can actually put this in a foil as well.
Look at that.
And it's gonna just
kidding. Maria loves it when I do that. We're gonna talk to Maria later. So here's what's super fun about this lightener. Sarah was talking about that white kaolin powder. So the fact that we have that in there with that hyaluronic acid, it allows us to lift higher and blast past those brassy tones, but still with care. And so what that means is I can now use this lightener to get where I need to go, and I can use lower volumes of developer and still get there in a quick amount of time, which is super, super neat. I can also balayage with this lightener. I can foliage with this lightener. I can do baby lights with this lightener. I can do all things with this one lightener. It is dust-free, it is fragrance-free, and I am loving it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this technique. I'm going to draw a vertical line right here at the back of the ear, and I'm going to section this away forward. Anyhow, this is our first section. What you're going to see is that this is that section that creates those pop pieces underneath. This is how, when you see those dimensional brunettes and things like that, expensive brunettes, whatever they want to call them, this is that piece. I call this the money piece of the underneath. This is how you're going to get those bright pops of color that come right through here. Oh girl, I try to keep it real, Maine conditions. Yes, I do. Thank you. I love that I can see everybody on here. So, I'm going to use a paintbrush, and we are going to fully saturate this first section. Could you hand me my foils, please?
Yes.
Sorry. Now, I'm going to just use a basic balayage technique where we are just softly painting in a V-shaped section. I can't talk today. And we are going to fully saturate this panel and leave just a bit of depth right through that center. Remember when you're painting to keep enough product on the hair so that when you feather backwards to create that soft blend, you don't have any skips in your color. Everybody see how pretty and saturated that is? And also, do not forget the underneath. I'm going to go right back behind here, and I'm going to paint the exact same thing.
Hi, Fresno, California. Shoo you up early today. Thank you for coming on.
I had a hard enough time getting up at 6. Sarah, did I get up at 6?
No. I got up at 6.
You got up at 6. I did not get up at 6.
So while Jess is applying, I'm going to go over a couple more of the features and benefits of the Infinity Plus lightener. This, as you've already seen with Jess mixing it up, it gives you a rich and smooth consistency. It's very dense, creamy formula that lifts without drying out or flaking. So again, for those balayage techniques, it's amazing for that. It's a dust-free formula, so it easily mixes with developer with no irritating dust. And it's also fragrance-free, and this is a personal favorite of mine along with the dust-free formula. I have asthma, and it's a struggle to breathe most days, especially whenever I'm on the road and I haven't had a lot of sleep. So anything that's like any of the irritants like dust or fragrance can really like put a toll on my lungs. And I know I'm not the only hairdresser on the planet that's like that. So I really appreciate that it's fragrance-free and dust-free. The fact that it's fragrance-free, it helps it be very user-friendly, and it does not emit a strong odor during application or while it's processing on the hair. This is a really versatile bleach. It's perfect for all freehand lightening techniques and ideal for off-scalp highlighting or foiling or balayage or any kind of lifting technique that you're doing.
So this is the same exact pattern. This is going to be my last one. The cool thing about this is we're actually only going to utilize 15 sections to create all this brightness. And that's what makes this really, really fun. So these first 2 sections, like I said before, these are your hand-painted balayage sections. You can see also down there, I did use foil to close these guys up. I'm just using this for a bit more insulation and just to keep my section separated. You can do these open air, you can use plastic wrap. It is totally and completely up to you and your creativity. This is just how I'm going to do that today. we used 40 volume for our mannequin head, and I just want to talk to you about that really quick while I'm painting. The reason why we chose 40 volume is that you guys all know, you get a mannequin head, you never know where they come from, and honestly, there's a lot of different dyes that are used, silicones and things like that on there, and so they do lift a little bit slower, I feel like, than a client, which I think you guys can all attest that that is true. So the 40 volume is just going to allow me to give you guys maximum brightness and results so that you can really see the difference on this mannequin head, and you'll see that the hair is still going to be in really good condition considering. And it's also going to lift quickly. This way I can get this done for you. Our beautiful mannequin that you saw before, Carissa, don't laugh, you're beautiful. We used 10 volume around the face on those more porous areas, and we used 25 volume everywhere else and got beautiful lift, and she processed in 25 minutes total. Let's see, can it be used on the scalp? No, this is a off the scalp lightener. Very good question. This lightener is for off the scalp only. We do have a really great lightener for on scalp applications. It is a cream lightener, and it is called DECOLOR B Cream. So when we get it on the front, this is where we are going to do the baby lights and teasy lights. Now, how do you determine whether you want to do baby lights or teasy lights? That's going to depend on how bright you want that face to be. If we use baby lights, we're going to get those right up to the scalp. Those teasy lights are going to have a softer, more blended look. Have you used Infinity Plus with the amazing Strike 4 papers? I personally have not yet.
I have.
Sarah?
If you're going to be using the Strike 4 papers, you do want to make sure that you're using a very low developer. Strike 4, the whole point of Strike 4 papers is that it cuts your processing time down to like almost non-existent, right? We're running our flat irons through that. We're adding heat. So you have to think about this. This is a 10 plus level lightener. It's very quick. So if you use those Strike 4 papers, 5 volume, and you're good. 10 volume. Start very low whenever you're working with this bleach for the first time on live people. Mannequins, it's okay if we raise the volume up on the developer as much as we can, just because, like she said, there's no natural heat coming out of these heads, and they've gone through all these processes. But on our actual clients, like yesterday, for example, we didn't use we used 10 and 20.
We used 10 volume and 25 volume for her open air.
For the open air.
And the 10 volume for the
quick.
foils.
You'll notice too, once you start using this lightener, you might not really need the Strike 4 papers. It works really fast. By the time you get done with your application, your next sections are going to be almost ready to pull if you're using foil.
And what I'm going to do too today, Sarah, you have the timer, correct? We're actually going to check those first painted sections that I did in about 15 minutes so you guys can see in real time how fast this product will lift. In the front, what I decided to do is go with a softer baby light, but I left the hair around the face. I did not weave right at the hairline, and that's only because honestly, mannequin hair you can never really get those lines straight, and I want it to be pretty. But you can, on a regular client, you can absolutely weave that hairline out, make those baby lights loud and proud. But we're going for a much more soft look, and we want those colors to pop, and she is still going to be a natural brunette. So we are leaving out that color in between.
So we've had a couple questions come in. We did already answer, can it be used on scalp? And we said no. Does it have its own developer? No. We are using the FRAMESI Professional Activator for all of these. You can also use Osidor as well. If you have a favorite developer that you like to use in your studio or in your suite, that's fine as well. Developer's developer, but it works with it peroxide. It's activated. Is heat recommended?
No.
No. You're not going to need to add heat with this, which takes that factor out. So personally, I don't add heat anytime that I use lightener. I adjust my developer. Our developer is where our time comes for whenever we're doing these lifting processes. So you're not really going to need to use heat as long as, even using 20 volume for an open air or 25 volume, it's going to go really fast. You're not going to need to put that heat in there, which is going to help the condition of your hair a lot better over time.
Well, that's where the hyaluronic acid and all that stuff comes into play, because you're able to lift faster at those levels, but still keep the moisture and stuff intact in the hair while we do it. And like I said, you don't need to use high volumes of developer. The only reason why we're using 40 today is so that you guys can see this. So now that we're in the top of this section, we've got two things. We always want to pay attention to the hairline. This place right here on a lot of our guests, I just want to bring this close so you can see. This place here, this recession point on our guests, this is where you're going to see differences in density. A lot of people have been having some issues with hair loss with COVID and things like that, and that is literally where it's coming from. This is where they're losing the most hair. So we always want to make sure that we are checking our density on these sides, because if you overfoil those places, you are going to get, it's almost going to look like you have demarcations in your color, because it's going to be too hollow and you're going to be able to see right through it. So I always make sure that I am paying close attention to what the guest hairline looks like here. What we're going to do is take rounded diagonal back sections. I never take a completely straight horizontal or vertical line. They're always curved, and this is just my personal preference. I like to keep those lines soft. I want this look to be blended. You can see that we're coming at a diagonal back, but it is rounded. We are going with the head shape. It's what makes these techniques look so great on any guest, because we can customize that for them.
Here, let's rotate a little bit.
Okay.
Come this way.
Here I come. So now that we're in this top section, we're going to begin teasy lights. Now, I always tell everybody this in my classes, tease with a purpose, okay? We are not just teasing our grandma Aunt Ida's hair to stay for a whole week with a whole bunch of dry shampoo. What we're going to do is we are going to softly, I'm going to take my weaved section. I put this comb in at about a 45-degree angle facing me, and we're going to softly push those hairs up and away. Has anybody ever seen that air touch technique where they use the blow dryer? They're pushing these little hairs out with that blow dryer. That's what the tease is supposed to do. And if you are doing that, your comb out is going to be very, very easy.
Haley's asking, is this parting okay for a side part?
You absolutely can use this for a side part, but when you're checking the front of your client, just make sure that even though the sections to you might look uneven, we want her to visually be symmetrical. So you're just going to change your parting, because that way, if where she's side parted, she's going to have more hair, right? It's going to be more dense on that side. So you just have to make sure that you adjust for that on your other side. Most of these money piece placements and techniques, as long as you are looking at the density on both sides, you can definitely do that. It's very visual, which is what's kind of fun. All right. Foils are stuck together. Hello. Oh my God, look at all these people. I think I saw FRAMESI Milan in there too. So another thing I want to just kind of draw your attention to, do you notice that I am not folding these foils up? I am not folding all this hair up into tiny little packets. There is a reason for that. When you're doing work like this, where we're working with a lot of brown hair and we are trying to get even and consistent lift, I prefer to leave these foils flat and straight so that we get a nice even lift from root to end. It also does make it easier if you are doing multiple surfaces, like let's say you've got highlights and lowlights going on, where you can go in and open these really quickly and check out what's going on inside and then just put it right back on. All right, now remember, we are leaving depth. So this is going to be where we're going to leave some more depth. Her money pieces are going to be right here. So I'm going to just take this top triangle, and this is what I'm going to paint. I'm going to leave this hair brown. I think one of the biggest things that I see is people ask me in classes all the time, I feel like I over lighten, right? You feel like you over lighten and you lose that depth and dimension. Well, this is how you keep it. It's kind of like a roadmap to keep your depth and dimension. So this again is another teasy light. Tease with a purpose. Softly push that hair up and away from you. I kind of just take those little hairs and I just brush them to the side so that they're not getting colored. You see them? There. And then we're going to paint this section. And then next I'm going to complete the exact same thing on the other side. Sarah, if there's any questions, we can go ahead and answer some of those too, I think, while I'm painting the other side of this head.
Let's see here. Looks like everybody's saying hi.
Well, hello, everybody. So, after we're finished with our placement today, we are going to actually speak to a couple of my favorite people in the office at FRAMESI.
Oh.
What I love about this company is the fact that you actually get real people. When you call our technical hotline and you have questions about our products, you're going to get real people that are working in the test salon every day that can actually give you real-time answers, stylist to stylist.
You've got what are you pulling off of the foil?
What am I pulling off of the foil? What does that mean? Dana, can you elaborate on that a little bit? I'm not quite sure what you're asking me. What am I pulling off of the foil? I didn't pull anything off the foil, I don't think. Do you have a head sheet for your sectioning? Actually, that is something that is coming and I am working on, and I will have head sheets for this sectioning very soon.
Here, bring this over a little bit so that they can see. You can see your paint.
Yay.
Approximately how many sections total do you end up with?
With this technique, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 total sections.
Is this lightener essentially making DECOLOR B Diamond obsolete?
Absolutely not. It is a completely different lightener. I will tell you my personal opinion on how I use them in the salon. DECOLOR B Diamond is a great lightener, and I use that for all of my full foil applications. And when I need something to be a little bit more precise and things like that, when you have Infinity Plus, this is a great lightener for some of these quicker, faster techniques where you need to blast past brass and lift. I think there's kind of something for everybody with this lightener, and I actually really like to paint with this lightener. The balayage and foliage with this lightener is my most favorite, but it does do everything.
Oh, Dana elaborated. She said a couple of times it looked like you peeled something off before putting it under the hair. Maybe they were just stuck together.
I think they were just stuck together because there's a lot of them on this tray. I didn't pull anything off the foil. There's no magic, I swear. It's just the foil stuck together and me fumbling with them very clumsily in these giant gloves.
Sweaty Barber asks, are you not kind of damaging the cuticle by brushing against it?
With the teasing, that's a really good question. And so that's where, when I was talking to you before about teasing with a purpose, this is like a soft brushing. We're not trying to, like I said, push that hair up like that, because you can rough up the cuticle that way, absolutely. So with this is just like a very soft brushing. It's very easy to come out. I don't sit my guests at the sink for, 40 minutes trying to comb their hair out. It comes out with just a little bit of shampoo and water with my fingers. This is not a really tight tease. So the answer is, if you do it this way, no, you will not. That's a good question.
That's a great question. Thanks, Brooke.
Yeah, man.
Can you go over the mixing ratio for the Infinity Plus, and does it expand or puff up on the hair?
Yes. We're using a mix ratio of 1 to 1.5 for the painting sections, and 1 to 2 is for foiling and things like that. I prefer that cake batter consistency when I am painting, which is why I use that 1 to 1.5 versus the 1 to 2, but I love the 1 to 2 in foils. That's just my personal preference there with that. And what was the other question? Because I made you
There wasn't, but Joy said hi. Hi, Joy!
Hey!
Okay, Haley's got, how do you brush it out at the sink for the teas? Do you pull it apart with lightener on it still, rinse with conditioner first, and then brush it out?
So again, just like I was saying before to Sweaty Barber, I love your name. I wish I knew what your real first name was, but I love your Instagram handle.
He's cool.
He's really cool. Anyway, basically, as soon as I go to the sink, the first thing I do is pull the foils, and I hit it with water, and I start to massage the shampoo in. Because this is not a really tight tease, it is going to start loosening up even with the shampoo. Then, after I'm done shampooing, I get that lightener all the way out, and we go to conditioner. The conditioner is when I will come and bring my wet brush and things like that to pull out any of the remaining teas. But like I said, you're not gonna have a hard time. If you tease properly, you're not gonna have an issue. And I'm gonna show you guys again. I'll have Sarah bring the camera a little bit closer, and I will show you exactly how I tease so that you can see the difference. That was a good question though. I like all the tease questions. Are we at 15 minutes yet?
We actually have 2.5 minutes left.
Sweet. 2.5 minutes, and then you guys get to see how we're lifting. Will you just mix this one together for me?
Yeah.
Thanks, pal. Teamwork makes the dream work. Again, we're just keeping these foils flat and straight down. This way we are making sure that all of that lightener is processing evenly. So I'm going to section this part away. I'm going to start on the front again. I just want to show you.
Here, go ahead and check this way. We have sun coming in, so we're having to like shift around the sunlight.
The sun.
The sun.
Jessica's a
Come back
vampire,
a little bit.
so I can't be in the direct sunlight. Otherwise, I will spontaneously combust. I'm just kidding. My husband would agree. There we go.
Would you do the entire back sides, or would you do the entire back, then do the sides and front parting?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I am. So you can totally do that. All right, so now that we're in this front section, I'm gonna be using my little brush. Now, what we're doing is we're checking the hairline the same way as we did on the other side. We wanna look for any recession points and things like that. So we can make sure that even if our foils are not symmetrical on both sides, visually when they look in the mirror, they will be symmetrical. So with this mannequin, like I said, these hairlines are funny. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a slice all the way around the hairline. And I'm gonna actually take the section that I weave from behind it, if I can get it to go. And then we're gonna go just like this.
Our timer just went off.
Yay! So, our timer just went off while I'm foiling this. Sarah, do you want to open that first foil and see how much lift we've gotten in 15 minutes?
Yeah, which side did you start on?
I started, if she was behind me, the one on the right of me. So
This
you're
one
right.
right here?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm bringing you guys on an adventure. Okay, this one right here. Ooh, if I can see it. Sorry, that sun was like got me right in the eyes and I can't see. Right, you can see that, right? Okay, cool. It's hard. Can't see. I'm blind. All right. All right. So this was the first section that she got. So this is 15 minutes later. Okay. You want to make sure that you're checking this, and even on a mannequin, this is what's really cool. As we all know, if we've worked on mannequins, we know how long it takes them to process with lightener. 15 minutes. Can you guys see that lift? Especially whenever I put it up with the starting color. It's pretty cool, right? My chest piece is thank you. I just got it work done. But this is a lift, and I mean you're already seeing like a noticeable difference. And I mean this is 15 minutes with this lightener. But if you see, because there was a question earlier about does it swell or anything like that whenever it's on the hair? No. It's however she applied it. That's how it is. It's not bubbling. It's not foaming up. It's not expanding. It's not smoking. You know, you're not having to worry about any of that. No. So I'm just going to cover that back up because we do want everything to kind of lift as evenly as we possibly can. But whenever you're working on a real person that's got heat, you know, you're feeling the heat from their bodies. You're feeling the heat from their heads, their neck, their chest, all the above. If your salon's hot, we're getting into winter, so some of the cooler areas, like I'm like right in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains on the Virginia-Tennessee side, and I work in Tennessee, East Tennessee. So whenever, you got the heat on and everybody's coming in, they've had like all these layers and they've been bundled up and everything. They're hot whenever they start taking everything off. Like even if they think that they're cold, like their body temperature is still hot. So all of that working is going to make this work faster. So make sure that you're checking anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes on these sections. And whenever you, like if you're using foil like this on your client using Infinity Plus and you see that section's done, just pull the foil out, let it cool down, and go about your business like you would with DECOLOR B Diamond.
Yep. Another thing that I just like to point out with lightening and decolorizing in general, people are more and more inclined to be using dry shampoos and all kinds of things like that to extend their blowouts and extend their styles that they do and things like that. And what I think is really important is that we're making sure that client is coming to us with clean hair. We want to make sure that hair is clean. And it doesn't have to be washed like that exact day, but like the night before. Most of my clients know. And make sure you know what they're washing their hair with. A lot of these in-store products that they're using or things that say that they're organic, that they buy from wherever, Target or wherever they buy from. Not that I'm dissing Target, I love me a Target. But they've got a lot of different things in there that are building up and leaving residue on the hair, which is making coloring for us a little bit difficult when it comes to lightening. You're going to see swelling. You're going to see chemical reactions and things like that because the lightener is trying to get through those as well as getting through the rest of the hair. So that's just something that I like to, keep in mind. When people come in and they're like, sorry, I haven't washed my hair in like 7 days, but I figured since I was coming to you, it was okay. It's not okay. I'm not telling you to publicly shame them, but you need to educate them and tell them that clean hair is not the best way. What is the maximum time for processing? This lightener actually will can process up to 60 minutes. I have not yet seen where I need it to process that long. But depending on the level you're starting, if there's previous color on there and things like that we're trying to work through and what volume of developer we're using, you can process this lightener up to 60 minutes. In my experience, I have been using low volumes of developer and processing for about 25 minutes, and that's all I've needed, which is pretty nice. It just depends on how light you're trying to go.
Let's see. Okay, I think they were having a hard time seeing where I had opened up the foil.
Do it again.
I'm doing it again. So that's after 15 minutes. Well, I guess now we're at 16 minutes from whenever I showed it before. But it's got a pretty substantial lift on mannequin hair, and we know how much these things get processed and preserved and all that stuff. So
can you, after that, I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna let you bring the camera over here. I want them to see this tease because I know they had some questions about it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want that to fall. I mean, if it falls, it falls. But all right, where are you at? Tease.
Right here. So here's my section. I've weaved out my slice. Now I want you to see. We're going to start in the mid shaft. I'm turning that comb towards me about 45 degrees, and I'm going to push those smaller hairs up and out of the way. I usually take the comb, and you'll see me, I kind of brush them out. Can you see them right here? These are those little hairs that we don't want to color. This is exactly like, it's pretty much like that air touch technique. That's what he's doing. He's blowing all of those little hairs out. I'm just shifting a little bit of them right at the root so that when I paint this hair, I just get a little bit of a softer blend. Does everybody see the difference? And you can also see it's not a hard tease. If I wanted to, I could comb that out right this minute and it would be completely fine. I'm gonna paint my section. I start saturation on the ends first. I always have a towel handy for this technique. Now, if you guys like to use a paddle and things like that, more power to you. Do it. I like to work with my hands. Sarah hates it. It makes her twitch. She hates it.
I like to work with a paddle myself.
I like to feel it in my fingers.
I like to threaten my clients.
You threaten your clients with a paddle? Yeah. You threaten them with paddles. I publicly
my clients with everything.
I publicly flog them for coming with dirty hair. We're so mean. We're not. My clients love me. I'm just saying. Hey. You don't get to talk back there, model. You don't count. She actually does count. She's one of my very bestest friends.
Yay. I do love her.
So you can see we teased, but we still left, you know, some root space there. We softly feathered that up. This is just giving you a nice soft blend. The goal today is not to make her a blonde. She is a dimensional brunette. And I just take those little hairs and I push them right off the side here. Next thing we're going to do is the money pieces. These are super quick and easy. So, we had a side part question earlier. I just want to go back to that. So what I do is I will take that same sectioning from that frontal fringe flat to the outer eyebrow edges. But when I let this out, the first thing I want to do is let it go. I want to see exactly where this client's hair is parting naturally, okay? See where the mannequin jumps right here in the center? So I know she's a little bit heavier on this right side than she is here. You can see it. So I have to make sure that whatever I do here isn't going to be more than what this looks like. And then in that same point, we want to make sure that whatever we do on this side doesn't disappear because there's so much hair in between. So we're going to start with our heavy side. I'm going to take, again, because of this hairline, I am not going to be doing baby lights along the hairline. I'm going to go right behind it, and I'm going to create my first section. So I'm going to leave this section out and take my weave. Take my weave, I'm going home. Just kidding. Oh, sure. Do you want to, let me paint this and you can pick that up and you can show it to them. I think what we should do, if they can't see, let me just get this guy folded in there. Here. Give it to me. Huh?
The toner?
No, he wants to see it again in a tight frame. So I'm going to bring you over here. I think the lighting's a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy so you can see. Can everybody see that? There you go. Ta-da! So now we're at about 20 minutes. These guys are pretty much done at this point. 40 volume on mannequin hair. Everybody can see it?
40 volume on mannequin hair, and it's intact. Like, there's nothing scary about this. Mm-mm. It's not stretchy. It's
hair feels good, looks
hair
good.
Feels amazing.
So also what I have too is we do have a couple other mannequins here because I wanted you guys to see what that looks like dry, which I'm going to show you guys in just a minute. I have this mannequin already dried and processed so that we can tone on her. So you can see that as well. So I'm moving to the other side and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm taking my slice, leaving the hairline out, and then creating my little weave.
If you all hear questionable sounds, I'm mixing up toner.
Yes. So for our toner today, we're going to be using Framcolor 2001 Intense. We are going to be using equal parts 10.62, which is a light pearl blonde, and 8.035, which is one of my favorite new series that 2001 Intense has. This is the Hazelnut series. It creates the most beautiful, beautiful hazelnut shades. So mixing those together, I'm getting a really nice level 9, perfect for fall. So now we've got our two money pieces in place. I'm going to take that section all together, and I am going to take a rounded, remember everything is round, nothing is completely straight across. I'm going to take my weave, leave this hair out for dimension and depth, And we are going to create that little teasy light again. Remember to push those hairs up and out of the way so that they do not get into your painting. Huh? There we go. I just kind of push those hairs up and out of the way. Ooh, glare off of those things. It's killing me. Remember to saturate. We want our saturation to be even. If there are places where you feel like that saturation is not even, your lift may not be even as well. So I always make sure that I saturate everything completely.
Hello from Italy. Hi, Italy.
Hi.
Main Conditions asks, are you using a different decolorizer at the hairline?
On this mannequin, I am not. I remixed with a different bowl, but it's the same. It's the same. On my model, absolutely I did. I used 10 volume around her hairline. That's where your guests are going to be the most porous, and the hair is a little bit more fine around that hairline. So absolutely, yes, I did. So now the rest of this is going to stay out. We're going to create nice bright pops of dimension right behind our highlights. This is how we keep that high contrast going. The last section, I just want to show you guys. So I have this here, okay? Leave it alone. We are not coloring this at all. This is where we keep that depth in the back. If any of you guys follow me on social media and you see my pictures where the girls are in the back and they've got the little knot and the curls in the back, this is the depth that you see. It's right here. We highlight here, not here, when we are trying to keep dimension in our brunette. So, any more questions?
I think it's about time for us to call on Maria and Sade.
Ooh, I'm so excited because we are done. This is our last section.
Okay. Everyone, I would like to formally introduce you to Maria Pittavino and Sade Bow. These are the geniuses behind most of the products that we use, all of the products behind what we use, really. You can refer to them anytime that you need any questions. And during the live, they're right here. So skip the technical call today if you don't need one. They're right here for you to answer any questions that you need. We are transitioning and we're going to start toning with 2001 Intense.
This is our finished pre-lightened mannequin. So this is the mannequin I'm going to tone. This is what happened after. You saw the lift from my mannequin before. So here it is, all blow dried. Okay, because I wanted you guys to see where all those highlights come from around the face. See how we have, those are those depth pockets that I was talking about. But then you have those really pretty monies right at the hairline. See, they're very, very soft. This are those underside highlights that we painted. And I'm just going to tone with a bowl and a brush right here so that you guys can see while you're talking to Maria. I will just be over here working. Hi. Everyone just got a nice shot of my cleavage. Was it good for you? Just kidding. Sorry.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for joining us this morning. I hope you're enjoying the presentation. We are super excited about our new DECOLOR B Infinity Plus. After months and months of testing, we believe we have the perfect formula that allows you to lift 10 plus levels, which means that it has the power to go very fast if you choose, but allows you to lift it with a lot of care and condition. Typically, when you grab a lightener that goes fast, you typically end up with hair that's a little bit dry, damaged. What we have here is a formula that contains that hyaluronic acid that Sarah and Jessica spoke about earlier. And what that does, it's a strong moisturizer. And it allows that, it bathes that hair in moisture. So just imagine you're lifting that lighteners in there, lifting the hair, but the hair is being bathed in that nice moisture to allow it to result in that lift, but with condition and shine like we've never seen before. You get past the brass. I don't know if you've seen our get past the brass. What that means is you quickly get past that brassy state so that your result is that more refined. So you'll see a cleaner, more refined result in your tonality. So Sade, if you want to add something, we're just super excited because after testing all that's out there in lighteners, we believe we have a formula that's unlike any others out there that allows you to achieve that lift quickly if you choose, because whether you choose fast or slow, you're in control. What that means is if you want to go quickly, well, then you would use a higher volume. But this bleach or this lightener has the ability to get you there with a 10 volume if you choose to go a little bit slower and more controlled, so that you're able to do your full head of highlights by choosing a higher in the back or lower in the back and a higher. That the choice is yours. So that's what's super exciting about this bleach is in this lightener is that you have the ability to go fast if you choose. But the most important part of it is that you are left with condition and shine that was never, it's unmatched condition and shine.
And thank you, Maria. We also received a question. What are our favorite benefits of our lightener?
Oh, great. Go ahead,
Yeah, so
Sade.
that's awesome. So I'll just start off by my favorite benefit of this particular lightener is just the condition of the hair. For firsthand experience, whether it's testing in the test salon, performing strand tests, preparing for photo shoots, I just noticed that the hair feels like any other. And I attribute that to the DECOLOR B Infinity Plus trifecta of ingredients, which are the white kaolin powder, in addition to our hyaluronic acid, as well as the protective oils. So I believe that this trifecta just hydrates the hair, bathes it in moisture, and it also fills in those damaged gaps within the hair. So we have a 10 plus lightener that will give you a faster lift than any other lightener on the market. But in addition to that, it helps to protect the hair and it also conditions it. So you're gonna notice that that hair feels supple, it has enhanced elasticity, and also it preserves the integrity of the curl pattern and naturally textured hair.
Yes, and what I love, in addition to what Sade just stated, I also love the consistency. You know, from the time you get it out of the bag, there's no fragrance, there's no dust. So now you're mixing, and typically when you have a lightener that lifts 9+ levels, as soon as you open the bag or the pan, it's like, ooh, it comes at you, it's strong. There's no fragrance here at all, no smell. And then when you start to mix it, it's a creamy consistency. You can, as you're applying it on the hair, you almost feel that moisture as you know, and even as Jessica was applying it to the mannequin head, which, you know, we know mannequin hair is not like regular hair because it's a lot rougher. But just imagine, because of all that moisture, as you're applying it, it just stays nice and wet. So it doesn't dry up, it doesn't flake. You're able to get even lift from root to end because it stays moist throughout the whole process and doesn't swell. So that's another, you know, part that we love about this bleach as well.
Another thing that's fantastic about DECOLOR B Infinity Plus is that you have full control over your process, whether it be fast or slow, just by developer choice. So if you have someone that doesn't need to travel as far in terms of lightening, you could use as little as a 10 or 15 volume, because this bleach is a 10 plus, just as a reminder. This just basically tells you that this lightener, this attributes to the power of the lightener. So you don't have to use as aggressive as a developer strength in order to achieve your desired lift in no time flat.
Pro Force, is it needed, Sade? One of the questions.
Pro Force can be used in conjunction with this lightener. It will not compromise lift, and it could be used as an added protective agent for the hair. So you can mix Pro Force in any of our DECOLOR B lighteners, as well as our hair color as well.
It will just add that extra conditioning if the hair needs it. But you know, under normal circumstances, you don't need to use Pro Force with this lightener because of the extra hyaluronic acid, the kaolin. There's conditioning oils that are a part of this formula. But definitely adding it gives you that added protection as you're lightening. Don't need heat with this formula because you get past that brass without having to go under heat to process. Typically, you go under the dryer when you reach that point where you get stuck in that yellow state and you can't get past. So you go under the heat to give it that bump. You'll find with this new lightener that there's no need. It's not required. Heat is not required. You'll get past that brassy state on its own, just from the formula itself.
It's truly a sophisticated lightener that allows you to customize based on your client's hair type.
So there were a couple questions in the chat that I saw, and one of them was, what volume developer are you using with the toner? So again, I used 10 volume with 8.035 and 10.62 equal parts. And did I put it everywhere? Yes, I did. And the reason why is because what I wanted to make sure is that the highlights that I created did get the tone, but it also kind of softens the color of the natural on this mannequin as well. So it'll just make it just a little bit cooler, which you can see.
It's already working.
It's already working. So this is really cool. So Framcolor 2001 Intense is a really awesome color that FRAMESI has. It allows you to process color in half of your regular processing time. It also has 100% gray coverage, and it processes toner like that. I mean, you can already see it's already pretty much done. I did process the mannequin here for 10 minutes. And this is her finished. I can't get her off the stand now because we smashed her on there.
She beat her.
Because I kept dropping them before. But here she is. You can see, I mean, and this is a Deborah mannequin. If you guys have ever used a Deborah, you know that their hair is a little bit rough as well. But you can just see how soft it is, how shiny it is, how pretty it is. So this just gave us a really nice dimensional look for her brown. She's still a brunette, but she's got nice, bright, light pops of color. And I'm actually just gonna bring Carissa over here for a second, if you would please, my dear. So the fun thing about this sectioning is that it can be used for a multitude of things. So for Carissa, what we did is, she is a balayage client. She was grown out about 3 months, and we used that exact same sectioning to refresh her. Come forward so they can see. This is where her money piece sections are. You can see underneath, this is where we painted those pops of highlight for her. And through the back, you can see that top section, all the way, there you go, where we painted those teasy lights. But her hair is in really, really great condition. Everything is really bouncy and dimensional. And if I lift her up here, even though she was a full balayage, you can still see I left that dimension in that interior. Right where that sectioning was from your mannequin head, that's where that depth stays. Everybody see that?
And
So-
her ends feel amazing.
Yeah, they feel really,
They're
really
not
great.
frayed. We didn't cut her yesterday.
No, she got no haircut.
So she's an existing blonding client already with previously lightened hair at the ends. The application helps with touch-ups, all that, but the lightener itself, like without any kind of bonding help or anything, like
It feels good.
it feels amazing.
And it looks good. All right, turn around, face this way. So someone was asking about side parts. So can you come forward again? So I want you to see, because Carissa does have a side part, and I love you, okay? What I do want to show you guys is that those recession points that I was talking about, we have a little bit of hair loss in this front area right here. You can see where those hairs are short. I don't color these. We leave these alone, and then my next section on top is where I took my weave. You can see it. It lasts right up here. That way she keeps that depth and dimension right by her right by that recession point, because that keeps her from looking like she's got like a spot there. There's no color. Does that make sense? There she is.
And I saw a question earlier that was asking if we could intermix the DECOLOR B lighteners.
Yes, you can intermix the two. Any DECOLOR B Infinity could be mixed with any of our lighteners, depending on what you're looking for. You know, so if you want to speed it up, then you would mix DECOLOR B Infinity with your existing lighteners.
I love mixing Infinity Plus with DECOLOR B No Dust because you have that violet control. And I like to take my time a lot. So whenever I was working with it, it scared me at first because I didn't know what to expect. And then once I started using it more and more, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So you can use it as an additive in your existing lighteners and off scalp. So that way you have absolute control over everything. But No Dust and Infinity Plus are like my go-to. Most of the blonding that you see me post since the last couple months that I've had it's been with the two lighteners together, unless it's been with dye. I usually specify whatever I use though.
I don't want to get lightener on you, but just for fun, before we go, I wanted you guys to see those foils pulled. So in about 45 minutes total, us talking, me toning that mannequin, this was done really, really quickly. I mean, she was done in 20 minutes. You guys saw her. Here she is. So that's the lift that we got just in our live today, and I just thought it was important for you guys to see it.
Mannequin, our average mannequin processing that we were using with these was what, 40 minutes yesterday?
Yes.
And
Carissa was done in
model,
25 minutes.
25 minutes for her entire, come here. This entire blonding on her long hair and density was 25 minutes.
With 25 volume and 10 volume around the face, just for a visual. She's probably a natural level 6, just so that you guys have a visual. Marie and Sade, did you have anything else?
No, that's beautiful, and the condition, as you could see, is
Yeah,
standing condition and shine. Yeah, so we're excited for all of you to try it. The one thing I will add, we're here. We have a technical line. If there's any questions about this lightener as you start to use it, we're here for you. So please feel free to give us a call. And thank you for being with us this morning.
Yes, Melissa, I'm just going to say one more time. No heat. Do not use heat with DECOLOR B Infinity Plus. You don't need it, I promise.
And one more point. Until you get to use, until you get accustomed with this lightener, please check it. Don't walk away. Because typically you'll put your foils in and then maybe walk away for half an hour. And until you get used to this lightener, take a look, because as we saw, in 15 minutes you got past that brassy state. So you want to make sure that you are checking your lightener and with your clients, so this way you can see how quickly this works until you get accustomed to it. So have fun with it. Again, the choice is yours, fast or slow. You are in control with this lightener.
And
Yes,
remember,
you
with
so
our
much.
lightener, you can blast past brass with care. Just remember
Yes.
hyaluronic acid. That's going to have that conditioning factor. Thank you guys so much. You can call us on the tech line. The number is 1-800-245-6323. I look forward to assisting you. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, bye, you guys.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Jess and Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you all so much for coming and watching our live today. I promise, I'm going to put the formulas, I'm going to put before and after photos up on all of our social media. It's going to be on FRAMESI USA. It's going to be on Scaccia Hair. It's going to be on Jessie Lee Hair Artist. I will have everything there for you, and feel free to reach out to us. We'll see you again real soon, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us this morning.